Hey everybody, Roger Williams here, broadcasting from Guerneville, California, July 14th, the day after Vineman Half Ironman 2014. It was a good race. We finished, set a PR, so hey, can never complain about that. Would have still liked to have gone a little faster, I guess, but you always want that. The swim was a lot of fun. We had fog, so it was very cool. It wasn't cold, but I still had a wetsuit on. It got really shallow, like everyone said it would. At the turnaround, everybody was getting up and walking, which is silly because A, you're slower, and then B, you're tiring your legs out. I was actually grabbing the ground and pulling myself along in certain sections because my chest never hit the ground, but it was pretty close to getting that shallow. Had a decent swim about the same time I did at St. George. Had a couple of wrong turns just before. There was a bridge pylon that I had to go on one side of, and I was trying to go the other. And then the exit ramp, I was off to one side of, so I had to come back around for that. So that was a little bit annoying. Might have saved myself a minute. Bike went out too hard. It was a fun bike though, fast. Beat my time from St. George, which I should have because there was no climbs like that. There were a couple of decent climbs on this course, but nothing like St. George. But it was gorgeous all through vine fields and lots of people out cheering on, lots of great volunteers. Bottle cage fell off at the halfway point, so that was exciting. And then the run. I mean, what else is to be said? But it's a half marathon after you've done all that other crap. And started off good. Just took myself real easy. Just set a nice, easy 11-minute pace. And then the heat turned on, and there's an out and back. And at one point, you're like literally running. The people going in are on this side, you're on this side, and so you're just spinning the whole time, being like, okay, where's this turnaround? And so a little race course preview would have been good for that. We did drive the course for the bike the day before, and that was really good to have done. Would have been a good idea to do that for the run as well in the future, if there is a future. We'll see. But finished 6 hours 20 minutes. Beat my St. George time by like 8 minutes or something, if I recall. And but it was a good course. Different in organization-wise from St. George. They didn't have bags for each of the transition zones, so it was a good thing that we brought our own transition bags. They had a morning bag for to put your wetsuit and stuff into, and everything from T1 was then transported over to the finish area. At the finish line, they had a ton of fresh fruit and food and tents to sit and eat and drink and relax and talk with the other racers about the course with. That was St. George had that, but I just didn't. It wasn't as good. They didn't have as much fruit and stuff. They did not have anybody putting sunscreen on, which I would definitely have that in the run transition if I were doing this race. Lots of people with sunburns. I was lucky enough that the guy next to me in T2 had some spray suntan lotion, and I begged it off of him, and he was nice enough to let me use it. So that saved me. As you can see, I've got a little bit of sun here, so I probably didn't get my face. What else? What else? Differences. We didn't get a finisher hat. We got medals. Medals are cool, but I'll never use them again. And I don't know. It was a good course. It was an open course, so there was traffic the whole time. Cars were really cool. I didn't ever see any incidents. I never had an incident. It's just kind of annoying having cars all over the place on roads that have no shoulders, but what are you going to do? And I don't know, other than that, they had shower area. They had an outdoor shower area at the finish line. I wish I had known about it just after I had finished, because I definitely would have appreciated getting cleaned off right away, but we found it eventually, and they had a bunch of soap, Everyman Jack soap and stuff there, and so that was absolutely wonderful to get all the crap washed off. And trying to think anything else worth mentioning. If you want to do this race, don't stay in Guerneville. We rented a house. As you can see, the view is awesome. But to get here, it's like a mile and a half of single lane road, of only which a mile of that is paved. And then it's some pretty hardcore dirt road getting up here to this thing. I would tell you to stay in like Sebastopol or Windsor, or, you know, where the finish was, kind of areas. Everything's within 20-minute drive of everything else here. So stay out there, save some money, and then also just, you know, make it easier to be able to get into. Getting in to set up to go race on race day morning. You have to set up your T1 race day morning, and the traffic going into Guerneville is just crazy because it's just a 2-lane road through this town. And we ended up stopping about a quarter of a mile, maybe a half a mile before the actual transition area, and getting all of our stuff out of our car. And then Kate's sister Christy drove the car on in because her start time wasn't until much later. But yeah, logistics, figuring out getting into town in the morning. Either get in really, really early or plan on stopping somewhere before you get into town, because it's just a line of cars. So we got out, we got our bikes, and it was good because we were able to get our bikes tested out before the race. So, you know, then we had just a short ride into town, got set up. Lots of waves start. It's like over 2 hours of start times for this race, and I'm assuming it's because it's a tight course. So they need to keep the racers thinned out as much as possible. I don't know. I could be wrong. What else? That's it. It's a good race. If you want to do a half Ironman, I would think about doing this one. The course is easier than St. George. However, St. George was definitely, to me, more spectacular and breathtaking and all that, because the scenery there is crazy. And then just the challenge of St. George, everybody builds it up. It is a more difficult race course, but you know, it's a very difficult race course. So if you're thinking about doing a half Ironman, the two that I've done, St. George and Vineman, that's my take on it. I don't know. That's it. See ya.